Hi, my name's Richard Chambers. I'm from the Royal Pigeon Racing Association and I'm the Development Officer. Hopefully, you're watching this video now. You have registered with DEFRA and you have received your email confirming your CPH number. If you have not got your CPH number or you have not registered with DEFRA, at this point I'm asking you to stop, go to video 1 and you need to register for your CPH number, and all the instructions are there for you to follow. If you have registered, and you have not received your CPH number, at this point, again, I'm going to advise you to stop, wait for that CPH number to come through, and then when you've received it, you can then go on to this video. As I say later in the video, it's important that you do wait for that number to come through. Now, I'm recording this on the evening of the 25th of May, 2022. I registered on the 24th. I have not received my CPH number yet. I'm not going to beat about the bush. I have not received it. However, I know a number of people who registered before me or just after me, and they have received it. DEFRA and the APHA are going through these applications as quick as they can. So if you have not received it or have not applied, stop this point, wait till you've got your number, and then come back. We're now going to talk about your operations declaration and the next form that you need. Now, I'm going to stress now that you do not have to send this next form off, but you do need to keep it in a folder, and there are a number of documents that you do need to keep, including your veterinarian practice registration letter or email, your CPH registration application, and the email that comes back with your number on. Put that in there as well. And also your operations declaration form that we're about to fill out, and also, and most importantly, a list of all your pigeons on a vaccination form that are at your premises where you keep your birds, and that's stock birds, spare birds, if you've got droppers or flappers or tumblers, whatever it is, they need to be on that list. If they've got a ring on their legs, and if not, you have to put a plastic ring on, note it down, and put that on the list as well. Okay, so that's really important that you do that, and you get those all injected with the the legal vaccines, which are Novavax and Columbavac, and that is signed off in the usual way by another member from the RPRA who was witnessing that. We'll talk a lot more about that later on as well. So all I want you to do now is to look at part 2 to see what we have to do next in regards to being able to fly over the channel. It's a very simple process. You just need to understand what you're doing. You need to download a few forms and keep a folder, and from that point you'll be ready to race over the channel when the clubs, stroke nationals, stroke specialist clubs go over the channel. I need you now to go to rpra.org. Okay, and like we did last time, we're going to be looking on the left hand side and clicking the animal health regulations channel racing. As I said before, depending on where that is, okay, or what time you are looking at the website, that should be at the top, but the later you leave it, the lower down the left hand side it will be, as I'm going to show you now. So you just need to find where it says animal health regulations channel racing on this left hand side. But again, I'm going to try and put it on the right hand side here, like I said in video 1. Okay, so we are at the video. You will see that there is a video. It's not there at the moment, but if you click on that, that's the video of number 1. Okay, part 1. We are going to go down to where we was on when we was looking for the CPH registration, and we're going to click on gov.uk. Okay, so we're just going to click that and it will take you to this page. What you need to do now is you need to scroll down, so you'll be at the top. You'll see all this information. It's all familiar to you because you've done it as part of your first process. You're going to scroll down to wait for it to come up. Step 2. So you've applied for a new CPH number, which you've got. Great. Step 2 is to complete the Pigeon Racing Establishment Declaration. So all I'm going to ask you to do is to click on the Pigeon Racing Establishment Operators Declaration form. When you click that, it will go to your downloads. So on your computer, in my MacBook, it goes into this top right hand corner where all the downloads go. In your computer at that point, if you've got a laptop, it may pop up and ask you to save it to a place. If you're really struggling, you can right hand click it and download the file as, okay? But this needs to be downloaded to your computer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on that document It's going to open it, and then I'm going to save it to my desktop. Now on a MacBook, it's very simple. I literally just click that and it's already at desktop. Okay, and I'm going to call that test like I did last time. Okay, and I'm going to put in capital so I know. So when I click that, I take it off and I delete that. It is there, and that is the document I'm going to work from. This means it's a working document, and it means I can change it, alter it, come back to it, and it's not a problem. Now I'm on MacBook, it saves automatically. If you're working on a laptop, anytime you write on this, you need to save the button. Okay, and it's normally in the form of a floppy disk in the top left hand corner, or press save as. Okay, which there you can press, for example, in MacBook, but it will say the same in laptops, Chromebooks, etc. So what we're going to do is, first thing you need to do is read all of these. Okay, you need to read this, and if you see the blue, anything blue highlighted, if you want to read in more detail, if you click that, it will take you to that page or that form on the internet. So you need to make sure that you are connected to an internet for this to happen. Okay, for you to download this, you must be anyway, but if you want that to access those blue highlighted areas, you must be connected to the internet. You need to read this. So we've got a county parish holding number, a CPH number, and what you need to do is read the guidance for movements of racing pigeons. Again, if you click on that, I'd like you to read it. I think it takes you back, well, I know it does. It'll take you back, if I open the link, to where we was before, because that is the link for that. So read the information on that page, which you should have done to complete your first document anyway. So I'm just going to minimize that to get it out of the way. Go back into the document. Same again, if you want to, well, you should then read the export health certificate information. Again, if you click on it, it will take you to where you need to go. So you need to read all that, and it tells you what we're about to do in effect. So I'm going to talk to you what we're about to do, but if you read this, it's a step-by-step process of what you've got to do. So we've done that, you've read everything, you've looked at all the highlighted blues on the internet, and now you're on section 1, the establishment operation applicant. That is you. You are the applicant for this. The first thing you need to do is look, and it says a lot of the areas are mandatory. That means you have to do it. There is no getting out of that. You have to fill in those sections. So all the fields need to be filled in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my name. Now I'm going to have to put your title as well, because it's in bold capital letters. So I am a Mr, could be a Miss, could be a Ms, could be a Master, could be whatever your title is, could be Doctor, and then I'm going to put my name. Now this is the same as what I put in my CPH application, and this is where you live, not where your lofts are. This is where you live. Okay, so if your lofts are at your house, then section 1 and section 2 are going to be the same. If you live elsewhere to where your lofts are, so I live, as I said in part 1, I live in a separate place to where my lofts are with my family. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my personal address in. Now I can't remember what I put in the CPH demonstration, so I'm going to say it's number 10 Tops Road, and in Manfield in Cumbria. Now I've just made that up. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what I put in the CPH. You need to put your actual address there. Okay, obviously I'm not going to put my actual address down there, but I'm just going to put that in for now. Sorry, that's wrong. I'm going to copy that. That's the first bit. I'm going to put my name. So it's Richard Chambers. Apologies for that. Then I'm going to put my address in the next bit, and then I'm going to put my postcode. Okay, and that is going to be where you physically live. You're going to put your telephone number, and if you've got a landline, you just put a slash, and then you put your landline number there. Okay, if you've only got a landline, you can do that. If you've only got a mobile, then you can do that. If you've got both, you can do that. Okay. For a lot of people, this may now be a sticking point, because I know a lot of people don't actually have an email address. Now, I am going to put a video up on how you can get a free email address, and I will do that in part 3. So if you have not got an email address, then you need to watch part 3 to see how to get an email address, and then come back to this when it's all set up. A lot of people I know are not computer savvy, and are not computer literate, and I'm 100% sure a lot of you are getting friends and family to fill this in for you. Unfortunately, there is no way that you can get around this. You need to have an email address, unfortunately. That's not an RPRA thing, that is a government thing. We've asked the question, we've put it to them that, we know the age demographic of our members, or a majority of our members, and they've said, unfortunately, it is a mandatory field and you need to have an email address. So at this point, you need to do that. Like I said, we don't want to put anyone off. It is a very simple process if you understand. I understand if it's not a simple process if you don't understand. So I am going to do a video on that. But you will need to get an email address. So I'm going to put my email address, which is richardchambers@rpra.org. Okay. And if I press space, it will go blue. Don't worry if it doesn't make a difference. But you need to put your email address in there. So we're just going to check section 1. This is for your house and for you. So your name, and your title. So I'm Mr. Richard Chambers. My business and trading name, if you remember off the CPH file, was Richard Chambers, or whatever your name is. The operator's address, you must put it in, is where you live. The postcode where you live is there. Your phone number or phone numbers is there. And your email address, which I've said is mandatory and you have to fill that in. Now, section 2 is where your birds are. Now, for me, my birds are at my house, okay? And it's really important that you put in here if it is different. So if it is different, you need to leave your house address in section 1. And in section 2, you need to put what your allotment, family members' house, friends' houses, community, whatever it is where you keep your pigeons, this needs to go in. Now, mine is going to be the same because it is where my pigeons are, which is my house address. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. It's not an issue. Okay, you can manually type it, but I'm going to speed this process up and copy and paste. Okay. Again, I'm going to stress for the final time that this is where your pigeons are located, not your house address. This is your house address, not where your pigeons are located, except for if your house address is the same as where your pigeons are located, then you must fill this in twice. If it is different, put your pigeon address, loft address in section 2 and your house address in section 1. Right, at this point you should then put in your county parish holding number. Now I don't have one, so I don't know what it will look like, but you will know it'll be in front of you. So I'm going to make one up, okay? I'm going to say that's my county parish number, and I'll guess it'll be ST for Staffordshire, which is where I live. Okay, so I'm just going to, that's what it is. I don't know what it is, but you will have it. When I receive it, I will know, and then I will put it in there. Now, this is really important. You need to put your GPS coordinates that you submitted in your CPH form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my CPH form. I'm going to scroll to where it says GPS coordinates for your loft, okay? And I'm going to copy and I'm going to put that in. Now, all you have to do is you have to copy your eastings, write easting, align, and then copy. And then I'm going to put my northing, and I'm going to go back into the original form, and I'm going to copy and paste that in. Okay. And it's in. Now, if you haven't got your form, or you should have it on file. If you haven't got it on file, I'm going to show you how to find it. So if you didn't save it and you just sent it off, if you go to your email, like I'm about to show you, and you go to sent, okay, you need to scroll down all of your sent items here, and you will find where you sent it to, the rural payments at defra.gov. It is there. So if you click on that, it will open up your application form. That, as you can see, it's there. And then you can scroll down and you can find your easting and northing. That is the way you find your application form if you have not saved it to your desktop. At that point, you should be able to open it up and save that to your desktop, which it says save attachment, or download to folder, or open with and then save it. You need to do that. You really should have your application form in this folder that we're going to talk about later on. But you got your coordinates, that's fine. and I've added those coordinates now to where it says there. It's a mandatory field, and we go from there. If you can't find any of it, and at last case scenario, you can go back to the Magic Map app. Again, I'm going to open the link. It will take me to the Magic Map app, which is here, and you can then search as it says in part 1. So if you are at that stage and you can't find your eastings and northing, go to part 1 again, watch how we do the Magic Map to get that, and then put those coordinates in. So there are lots of different ways we can get that sorted. If you've done your CPH registration, you should have it, but if not, you can go through that. So I'm going to check now that section 1 is complete, which it is. Section 2 is complete, which it is, and I'm happy with all the information that I've put. Section 3 is really important. Section 3 is your declaration, and you understand exactly what you are signing up for, okay? It's really, really important that you read this. Anything blue, again, you can highlight over, and if you are connected to the internet, you should be able to click it and open the link and go to that piece of legislation, okay? If you're interested in what the RPR has been doing and trying to find out about what has been agreed and the communications that Ian's had and a few other people about trying to negotiate to get the best possible thing, it's all in a legislation here now. This is why we've had to take time, and this is what we've got to follow. So I would suggest having a look at that, okay, and you understand exactly what you're signing up for. In fact, I don't suggest it. I need you to do it. Then there is a list here of what you are signing up for here. So I'm going to highlight it all up to there. I'm not going to read it. It's there for everyone to read. It's like any document. You need to read it, any terms and conditions before you sign it. Okay? Every blue point, as long as you're connected to the internet, you can click on it. It'll take you to that link, and you can read that as well. Read it all through, and then when you're happy, you're going to put the date that you are signing it, which is the 25th of the 5th. I think it is, yeah, still the 25th in my top right hand corner. 25th of the 5th in 2022. Okay, I'll expand it a little bit more so you can see. So we all understand that, and that's the signature. I'm just going to press enter a couple. Well, I'm not going to actually, because that's not be put onto a separate page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to recap everything so I understand. I've read and I understand what I need to do. I've looked at section 1. I will move that down to keep it nice and neat for when I print it out, so it's on the same page. That is section 1, and that is your house address with all your details. Section 2 is where your pigeons are kept. If it's the same, keep it a copy and paste. If it's different, put it in. Eastings and Northings, put that in, and your county parish number, which you should have been sent from DEFRA. Section 3 is your declaration. This is something you're saying, yes, I agree. Okay, I understand what you're saying to me, and I agree with it. By signing that, that is what you're saying. So you can't electronically sign it. You need to physically print this out. Now, the advantage is we don't need to submit this until it is requested. And I will repeat that. You do not need to send this anywhere except for if it is requested. And that could be at a marking station. It could be from a DEFRA official, an APHA official. They could request this. So we're going to talk about keeping all this information in a folder. So you can just keep it to a side with all other documents. And if it's requested, you can go straight to it. So at this point, I am now going to print this folder off, this form off. Press print, and it will go to the printer. Press print, and it does it. Right, we're going to go to the printed document now. It's also important to note at this point that this operations declaration form must be completed on an annual basis. So that means in whatever date you have put in the operations declaration form, 12 months from that, you must take the old one out and put a new one in, a new form of the operations declaration form. So it is an annual thing that you need to do with your APHA number, and you need to submit to your folder on a 12-monthly basis, a new form each year. Okay, so you have filled out your online form and you have printed it off. So I've got the forms here, as you can see. So that's the form, and they come in different parts, and you have exactly what you've done. So I've manually filled it in the signature and date, as you can see. But you need to make sure that all three components of that, exactly what we've just gone through on the internet, are there, and it's exactly the same. Then what you're going to do is it should be dated, because we've talked about it before, okay, and we should have put that in, but if it's not dated, you need to date it, and then you need to sign it. That is me saying, I am happy with this document, I am declaring, I understand the situation, and I am happy for anybody to come and check this document, and also any of the CPH registration process as well. That's what you're saying. You get a stapler, and you're going to staple it together. That document on its own. Now, what I'm going to say is, this is the vaccination certificate. It can be downloaded from the RPRA website, filled out, and obviously it's got all the details as we normally do, with a list of, and I don't have many pigeons at my house, all the pigeons that you own. Every pigeon has to be vaccinated. Not just your racing pigeons, every pigeon. Your stock pigeons, your flappers, your tumblers that you loose out for fun, whatever it is, every pigeon that you own at that address that you've declared needs to be vaccinated against PMV, okay, Newcastle disease. It's really important for that. And it needs to be on this form. It needs to be done in the way that we normally do it, which is to sign, put your loft location, etc. And then you also need to have it signed by another person in the RPRA. Again, that is stapled together. 2 forms you're going to keep together. Your third form, which I don't have on me at the moment because I haven't printed it yet, is I would keep your CPH application in that folder as well. Keep it in there. So that in effect would be, I haven't got it, but let's just use this piece of paper here, for example. Okay, here, that's my CPH application and all the other forms together separately. Now, what I'm going to do from now, I'm going to buy a folder from Staples or Poundland or anywhere. You can buy them with these inserts, whatever you need to do. And I'm going to put all that information into that folder. Okay. I'm also then going to label it. Okay. So I've got my folder. And if you want to, you can put it all in the same ring binder, or you can separate it off. But what you need to do is you need to keep that. And you need to keep that for 3 years. It's a 3-year rolling cycle. So I would then go in there and label 2022. So in there, I'd get a sticker and I would put on there 2022. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep that. At that point, you are now ready to race in the channel. That point, you are now ready to go. You've had your CPH number. You've filled in the documents, it's been sent off, you've done that declaration, and you're going to keep it in that folder. Now, I'm telling everyone, because I think everyone needs to know why you need to keep this, is because of the new animal health certificate regulations, that because we're registered now, a veterinarian can ask to see that at any point. So it could be at the marking station. So I would take that folder with you to mark your pigeons, just in case. It's not potentially going to happen, but it could. So take that folder with you when you mark your pigeons for the channel. A veterinarian, when they come to your house, so it needs to be done, you need to get a vet to come around once a year. Okay, and that's really important as well. So when you've registered with a vet, okay, so I've registered with a vet, again, I will put all of the documentation with that vet that I get in that folder. And that's really important as well. Okay, so if there's any questions, this is literally your health log of your pigeons in effect. That's what this is. This is your health log. So anything to do with vaccinations, anything to do with vets, anything to do with DEFRA goes in that file. So you've got your vet sorted, you've got your CPH sorted, number sorted, you've declared with your operations declaration form that you understand and you agree, and it's there. And if anybody asks for it, it's ready for you just to give it to them and say, there you go, that's what we've got. I can't stress enough how much this needs to happen. You need to make sure that all your pigeons are vaccinated, which everybody does anyway, but it's listed down, including the stock birds, because I know in the past we have not had to potentially submit our stock pigeons. Most people do, but it's only the race pigeons that have to be declared. Even though we all jab them, we know that, we all inject the stock pigeons, but on this form, when you want to race a channel, all your pigeons have to be injected, and it needs to be on that form. no matter what that pigeon is. So please write that down. From that point, ready to go to the club, ready to send our pigeons, and the clubs will have a different process that they need to do, which again, I will do videos on and I will show them what to do. At that moment, we're talking to all clubs about what they need to do and how they need to do it. There will be a vet present at all marking stations as we stand. That may change, but as we stand at all marking stations, there will be a vet present. So that is why that folder is important, and for you to take it to your marking station when you take your birds to race from the channel. That's the end of the process for registering for DEFRA. As you notice, at this point in time, to register with DEFRA, it's cost me nothing. It's not cost a penny to register with DEFRA, because it's just to get your CPH number. We're going to register with a vet, which most vets have asked you to register for free. All that we now need to do is make sure within the next 12 months that our vets have come to our lofts. Now, that's another video altogether that we're going to probably do at a later stage. I'm going to tell you now, you don't need to have a vet during the racing season. You can do the process I've just said, and you can send your birds as long as you've done everything that I've said. After that, a vet will need to come to your house and inspect your premises and your birds and sign that off. Now, there is a form for that vet to sign off. Now, the way to do that is you need to go back on, and I will get this for you in a moment. I'll show you in a moment how to do that. Is get the form off that and get the vet to fill it in and sign it off. Now, a letterhead with a vet saying that they visited is absolutely fine, and you put it in the folder. But on the gov.uk form, which I will show in a moment, you can get that vet form. Now, I'm going to say it again because there's a lot of information out there saying I need a vet right now and it's going to stop the process. You do not have to do this. You can do it in the close season. You can do it in October, November, December, January, whenever you want to do that. You can do it tomorrow if you wanted to. That's not if you really want to do that, you can do it. You don't have to. Once you've done that forms, you are ready to go and you've signed it and you take it to marking stations. So that is where we currently are with the process. I'm now going to show you how to download off the internet the veterinarian declaration when they come to visit you. Now, this is going to be after you've raced this year for most people, but have this form, download your computer, ready for you to go. So, after the season, and you want to get all your house in order regarding getting your vets sorted ready for the 2023 racing season, you can now download, and I suggest you do this now, so you've got this form ready for the end of the year, because when you go back to this page, I'm pretty sure that this won't be here. You'll be able to get it from the downloads column, which you can do on the RPRA website, which is here. But if you want to do it now, we can show you, and then you've got it for later on in the year. You can click on where we've gone for all this. You'll see the part 1 video. You'll also probably see the part 2 video, which is this one as well. And then you'll see, we'll go down to loft registration. Now, for this one, to get the veterinarian form, you need to go to loft registration and FAQs. Let me just check I've done that right. Yes, I have. And now we're going to scroll down to where it talks about the vets. Okay, there's lots of information, additional information if you want to read all that. I would suggest you read all this. Talks about what vaccinations you can use, right? And then you've got, why do I need to register with a private veterinary practice? If you haven't done so already, you need to do this now. It's part of the declaration that you've just signed to say that you have got a vet. Okay, we have put a list out there, but there are lots of vets out there. You just need to be able to register with them. Most offer free. Some are asking for a small fee. Some are asking for a charitable donation, but you need to register with them. Okay, you'll get an email back and potentially a practice number. And then once you've done that, we can read this. So there is a requirement by the EU rules that registered establishments moving live animals within the EU and Northern Ireland must receive regular animal health visits from a veterinarian, which is what we're talking about now. You should register with a vet, which we've just talked about as well, after applying for a CPH if you have not done so already, which we should have done. If you haven't done, you need to do it right now. This, go on, contact the RPR if you want to, but there is a list, and it's in the British Homing World from last week. It's the 25th of May now, so it's the previous week to this in the British Homing World. There is a list. So the veterinary visits talks about that. you are required during a 12-month period of signing the operations declaration. So whatever date you put down on that operations declaration, which needs to be today, you are doing it. You've got 12 months to get a vet visit. Okay? So, a veterinary visit for racing pigeons established at least once. Why is the veterinary required annually? Tells you why. Compliance, when will I be subject to a compliance check? Tells you. What records do I need to keep? We've just talked about that as well in the folder, so you can read that in there as well. APHA will usually request all of these records when undertaking a compliance check, and you can be picked at random to do a compliance check. So it's not a necessary thing that's going to happen to you every year. It's probably going to be done at random, and there'll be a number of people every year that will be done this. What evidence do I need to do? So, what evidence do I need to keep for a vet practice? Now, like I said, an addressed letterhead saying that they've been to your premises with your address down on there, and a signature is fine. However, I would suggest that you download this form by pressing this blue highlighted area here. And again, it's gone to our downloads column, as we've said before. So like you've done with all the forms, you download it and save it. I'm going to do the same here. It'll download to the folder, and I'm going to open it. Okay. At this point, what you are going to do, and this is only when you are going to have a vet visit you. Okay, so I do this the day before, the night before. You are going to fill in all of this as we've done. Now, I'm not going to do it now because we've done it 100 times, but you will need to fill this in. So it's the establishment details, and that is where you keep your pigeons. So not your house address, it is where you keep your pigeons. Okay. Holding number again, CPH number, which is your registration for DEFRA. Veterinarian details, they probably can fill this in, to be honest with you, but you could fill it in for them. Their registration number, you may know it, but they will. Veterinarian practice name, address, etc., etc. Veterinarian signature, and also their practice stamp. And you will date it. Now, once you've done that, and it's printed off, you need to keep that in your records, like I've showed you in the folder before. Okay? Veterinarians will know, if it's a registered vet, will know what they're looking for. But if not, then they can click on this and they can have a look what they're looking for. But they will know there's a lot of information gone out there, and we're doing works with a lot of the vets as well to keep them informed and to try and get more training, hopefully from continental vets, so that actually our veterinary services for pigeon fanciers in the UK get better. And as a byproduct of this, it should get better. Okay, so that's what we need you to do. So when you've printed it off, again, you go back to your folder and you put it in your folder. That is all you need to do when you've had your vet's practice, and that will last you for another 12 months from the day that they visit. So like I've said before, if you do it in the closed season, it will cover you for this year and next year, and then you'll do it. So I'm personally going to ask a vet to come to my house in probably October, November, after the pigeons have molted and just before I pair up. Pigeons will be in the best health, after look in their best condition, and I will make sure that they're all treated and injected, ready for the next season. I usually inject my pigeons around October, November, okay, after the molt, so that will cover them for the next year, and the vets have got that all in order as well. And again, I will inject all my pigeons at that location and put all that in the folder as I've done in the past. Okay, so you've printed that off, you put it in your folder. This is for after the season, as I've said. You can do it now if you wanted to, but I'm going to do it at the end of the season. In the folder, I'm just going to recap. In this folder, what you should have is your CPH application. I don't think you need it, but it's good to keep it there, and your CPH number. You need your details from your vet, so a letter of acceptance saying, yeah, I'm now registered at that practice. You need your operations declaration form that you've signed. And you need your vaccination forms in there that you normally do and hand to your clubs, and you've got a copy in there. Put the original one in here and send the copy to the clubs. From then, at the end of the season, you then need to get a veterinarian to come visit your pigeons, download the folder that I've just said, and then get them to fill it out and put it in here. At that point, you now have a complete folder that you will take to every single time you go to a marking station to mark your pigeons, and you have it ready to present whenever you are requested, or if you are ever requested. 90% of people will not be asked for this, but there will be 10% or more that will be asked on a random spot check if they can produce this. So if you've got it all in one folder, the person will come round, you give them the folder, or you're at the marking station, you give them the folder, and they'll be able to check it. That is the complete process on what you as an individual fancier has to do to get registered to fly from the channel. You are registered as soon as you get your CPH number. And as soon as you've done your operations declaration form, you are ready to go. That is it. That is as simple as it can be. You don't need a vet until after the season, but you do need to take that form with you when you go to the marking station, and if it's requested by a PHA official, a DEFRA official, or a veterinarian. That is the process. If you follow these instructions, it is that simple. There is no cost to registration. There will be a cost for vet visits. And from that position, we should then be able to go over the channel and race from France, Belgium, Holland, Spain, wherever we go from there. Keep a lookout for more videos. If there's any more information that comes on board, we will get it to you as soon as you possibly can. Can I please take this opportunity to say thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for everyone who's been working on this. It's been a long time. I'm really happy that we're able to get over the water. I'm a long distance pigeon flyer myself. I don't have any sprint pigeons. I'm absolutely over the moon that this is a process. Is it where we wanted to be? No, we wanted to be earlier, but we are there now. This is the process to follow. If you do it, it works. If we don't, then it doesn't work, and then there's problems. Follow it, part 1, part 2, which is this video, and any further videos, we'll put them out there. My name is Richard Chambers. I'm Development Officer from the Royal Pigeon Racing Association. I'm saying thank you, and good luck for the rest of the season, be that in the sprint racing from inland or over the channel. Bye now.